This week has been full of incredibly positive polling having to do with Medicare for All, and we're going to close out a week with perhaps the most amazing, fascinating results of all. And this comes from a new Reuters Ipsos poll, found that 51.9% of Republicans would embrace a Medicare for All policy. It also, 84.5% of Democrats is obviously good, but that is a majority of Republicans. And I feel like nobody is actually prepared for that sort of thing. And again, as we always say when these sorts of polls come out, this is before the case has even really been made. I mean, you've had a few politicians, obviously during the last primary, you had Bernie Sanders, and you're gonna see a lot more of it. But most people still have not heard anything other than fear-mongering and propaganda coming from places like Fox News and Breitbart.
And CNN, by the way.
Oh, of course, yes. And look, Jake Tapper obviously did his as much as he could over the past week. Now, at the same time, understand that while all this polling is going on, 2/3 of Democratic nominees across 41 battleground districts for US House seats also want to expand the government's role in healthcare. About a dozen support Medicare for All or a single payer system. But what's most interesting was actually noticed by Jeff Stein of the Washington Post, who said that if that Reuters poll is correct, then there's a higher percentage of GOP voters that support Medicare for All than Democratic senators.
Oh, that's devastating. Oh. So, but great credit to Jeff Stein because he nailed it. That's exactly right, and that tells you everything you need to know about what's wrong with the system and what I call the establishment. A lot of people call the establishment. And so, what is that? That's not only the Republican Party, but it's also the Democratic establishment and a lot of mainstream news. Look, here we do nuance. It's not a black and white world. So Jeff Stein from the Washington Post makes a great point. That's part of mainstream media. CNN has had some positive reports recently. We've given them credit for that. On Medicare for All, they've been terrible. And it's not because they're bad people. It's because groupthink in the establishment is no way, not practical, gonna cost too much. But wait a minute, we showed you over and over again, it actually saves money. Not only that, look at how obvious it is. The rest of the developed world all has single payer. They all pay less than us. Countries like Canada pay half of what we pay for healthcare, half. Our system is not practical. Our system is too expensive. And yet, almost everyone on cable news, everyone in the Republican Party in terms of official politicians, and unfortunately, a huge chunk of the Democratic Party goes, no, we don't care what the American people have to say. In fact, we'll pretend they're against it, even though every poll shows they are. This one, it used to be at 60%. It's now at 70% of Americans saying that's it, we want Medicare for All. And even in Mark Meadows' district, he's the leader of the Freedom Caucus, the most conservative faction there is. They went and polled there. People are like, yeah, no, Republicans are like, yep, interested in Medicare for All.
Yeah.
I'll quote one guy, he said about the government and healthcare, he said, either leave me alone 100% or pay it for 100%. And what I hear from every candidate that we talk to on Rebel headquarters is, whether they're talking to Democrats, Republicans, or independents, when they go door knocking or when they make phone calls, they're all like, we're drowning in this healthcare bills. It's killing us literally, and we can't afford it. We can't afford the regular payments, and God help us if we get sick. We've terrorized our own country because no one has any kind of security when it comes to health, and they're tired of it. And I'll go even further. That's it, it's time to get past Obamacare. So Obamacare was better than the old horrible system, horrible, right? But it left private insurance in charge and it did not control costs, and those costs are now killing us. And so those costs are now allowing Republicans to say, oh, you see that the liberal position gave you more costs. Hell no, Medicare for All would save us a ton of money. It's time to go right now. And if the folks on cable news, et cetera, and in Washington wonder why people don't like them and don't trust them, well, when you frame things in a way that is the exact opposite of what the American people want, that's why they don't trust you. It's not that complicated.
Voters have for so long allowed politicians to get away with making decisions that go against not only their best interests, but what they want and what they say they want. They've just let them get away with that. Like, oh, it's okay, I'm still gonna vote for him because this is who we voted for before. And a good thing that has come out of the Trump era is that's changing. It's happening. People are making decisions based on what politician will do what they're asking them to do and not just get all these votes and then, get in office and do just what works best for them. And things like this is not the only issue, but things like this matter, as they're sitting with their very well taken care of healthcare.
Real quick point on that. Trump is, a lot of the establishment thinks Trump was the end of populism, that he's a populist. Now we all know he's a fake populist, and that once we get him out of office, it'll be over, right? No. He's the beginning of populism. It just started in the wrong direction. We're gonna straighten it out. And you know what populism is? At the end of the day, it is doing what the popular will is. There's another word for that, it's called democracy.
Want to see more videos like this? Well, you can. All you have to do is subscribe to the TYT channel below. And don't forget to become a TYT member and download the TYT Plus app on your phone. Head over to tyt.com/join today.